It's fair to say that David de Gea's form has dipped in the last couple of seasons after what was like a flawless 5 years from David de Gea in goal for United. The last couple of seasons have been littered with mistakes, and his latest high-profile mistake against Everton at the weekend was arguably the worst of them all. And in his assessment, Roy Keane did not hold back in what he was saying about De Gea's mistake against Everton. What I want to do in this video is run through Roy Keane's comments, have a look at whether they are fair or not, give my own opinion on them, and I want to hear in the comments from you where you stand on David de Gea and his future at United past this summer. So let's take a look at what Roy Keane had to say about David de Gea's mistake against Everton. At half-time between United and Everton, this is what Keane said when he was asked about that mistake by De Gea.
So you come into this game, you've done all your planning, Roy, and then that happens, 2-3 minutes in. As a manager, how do you feel?
As a manager or a player, oh, you'd kill him. You'd kill him. I swear, it's crazy. You're talking about people being too clever. OK, I know it all comes out from the back, but it just takes too long. What is he waiting for? If you're going to make a decision, at least do it quickly. And you're on about the start of a game. These are huge moments for United in terms of trying to get in the top four. You've got your experienced goalkeeper. What is he waiting for? I think it's almost a bit of arrogance to it. Look at me, give me time. They almost think they're outfield players. I'd have no time for that carry on. I know players keepers can make mistakes. No excuse for that. And all of a sudden, it's a big ask, but at least United got back into the game.
Let's break down what Roy Keane had to say there. First of all, saying that as a player, you kill him. Now, Roy Keane would probably kill anybody on the pitch. That's his style. But De Gea's earned enough credit, I think, with these United players that they will continue to support him pretty much no matter how many mistakes he makes. And Solskjaer could have thrown him under the bus last year when he was in bad form. He didn't. He stuck by him. And that is exactly what's going to happen from this situation and going forward as well. De Gea will continue to get the support of the players and of Solskjaer. But he's not exempt from criticism here, and that's something that we all have to agree on. It's not as if it's the first mistake he's made in the last couple of years, and that mistake in particular was amateur. He didn't have to take that long before he kicked the ball out, and it's the first few minutes of the game. Just get rid, let United get into it, because obviously Everton are going to press intensely in the first 5-10 minutes, as any team would when they're at home. But De Gea's not exempt from criticism anymore, I don't think. You know, yes, he's had 4 or 5 years of just stunning, flawless goalkeeping that propped United up and kept us from sinking further than we could have and we would have had he not been in the team. But it's been 2 years now, on and off, of De Gea's form and with mistakes. You know, no keeper in the Premier League has made more mistakes directly leading to goals this year than Jordan Pickford and David de Gea. And both keepers made mistakes in that game. You know, I don't think it's unfair to criticise De Gea. And that's where I agree with Roy in this situation. But one thing I would disagree with Roy here is when he's saying that De Gea is showing a bit of arrogance, trying to be like an outfield player. I think that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer asking De Gea to do that. Because it's a newer style that's happened in the last couple of years. It's not natural to De Gea. He's a great shot stopper. He's not like an Edison or an Alisson who's naturally good with the ball at his feet. But he's trying to implement that style of play, and it's not always working, as you can see, with situations like that. But I wouldn't call De Gea arrogant for that. I would say that's coming from the manager, and he's just implementing what Ole is asking him to do. But with De Gea, previously, if De Gea left, you know, when that fax machine happened, the whole situation with Real Madrid, had De Gea left then, it would have been absolutely catastrophic for United. I don't think we could have recovered from that, because losing De Gea at that point would have been just taking out the backbone of the team. But Dean Henderson's form at Sheffield United this season means that's not the case anymore. And that's why I feel criticism of De Gea is absolutely fair and just now. You know, form is temporary, class is permanent, and hopefully we do see the best David De Gea come back. But for the last 2 seasons now, his form has been inconsistent. The mistakes have crept back into his game. And last year, you could largely say it was due to the fact that he had that contract looming over his head. Would he leave? Would he stay? He signed a new contract in September. He's now the highest paid goalkeeper in world football. And the performances don't warrant that. So I think criticism of De Gea at this stage is fair. Why is the form still not there? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But with Dean Henderson knocking on the door, look at it, man. 22, absolutely smashing it with Sheffield United. An academy graduate, wants to play for United, desperate to play for United at some point in his career. He's made it clear that that's his dream. With Henderson playing so well, I think United have a decision to make this summer. Because, as I said, losing De Gea previously would have been unthinkable. But United are privileged now, and that we're in a position with Henderson knocking on the door, with Romero as a good number 2, that if De Gea was to leave and United were to let him go, bring Henderson in and reinvest that De Gea money into other areas of the squad, maybe that's something that we could cope with. But I don't know whether it's a decision that United will want to make or will take. But I think it's a question that has to be asked. I don't think you can simply give De Gea a golden pass now, forever at United, and just, regardless of how his form goes in the next couple of years or from now on or whenever, that you can't criticise him, that you can't think about life without De Gea in the team. And it's going to be an interesting one. That's why I wanted to do this video. Do you think that Roy Keane is right in what he's saying about De Gea? I think he is, in the fact that it was a poor mistake. Everybody saw that. It didn't need to happen. It was just bad decision-making and slow goalkeeping from De Gea that forced that mistake. I think Keane goes a little bit overboard in some of the things he says, in a lot of the things he says as a pundit, but I think it's fair to criticise De Gea here. Goalkeepers do make mistakes which lead to goals. That's unfortunate. That just comes with the territory of being a goalkeeper. But the last 2 seasons, we've seen so many mistakes from De Gea that we're just not used to seeing. That's why it's so jarring for United fans. We saw that young De Gea that signed for us in 2011, and we went through this already. And then he became the world's best goalkeeper, in my opinion, at United. But that goalkeeper isn't the same goalkeeper that's in between the sticks right now. And De Gea's form, it hasn't improved since. Matt hasn't improved consistently since he signed that new contract. And that's what I hoped that new contract would do. But do you think that this summer United should be thinking about life without De Gea? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Roy Keane, obviously, he pisses a lot of people off. He rubs a lot of people up the wrong way. But he says what he thinks. Sometimes I agree and sometimes I don't. In this situation, I do agree with quite a lot of what he said about De Gea. I think he was a little bit over the top in his delivery of it, but you know, that's Roy Keane for you. And I want to know from you in the comments where you stand. Do you think Roy Keane is right in his criticism of De Gea and what he said? What do you think about De Gea's future at United? Is now a fair time for United to really be thinking about life without De Gea moving forward? Or is that a dumb idea that we should massively just keep sticking to De Gea, let Henderson go out on loan again? He's for the future, but right now let's continue sticking with De Gea. Let me know where you stand on this in the comments.